highest paid front desk you've worked with so far, or you've seen? The highest paid.
I don't know, dude. You're gonna make me whatever I say next. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Like $25 an hour, $30 an
Yeah,
hour,
probably.
40?
But
What?
with comp, you mean with like a bonus structure,
Yeah,
or just straight
full
up?
comp.
Yeah,
Like
everything.
with
It's got to
base
be
and variable.
You know, it's funny. You say this number, and most people listening to this call are going to freak out. But I'm like, but it's tied back to their production. Their right.
So what's the number? We are live. I want to welcome everyone to the Clink Boss Show. I am Rick Lau, and I'm your host. I grew and exited 127 location, now a $37 billion grocery chain, own my clinics.
Dude, that is
and I'm on this journey to actually like meet and talk to all the top healthcare entrepreneurs in the world on how to get smarter in business and life. So if it sounds like you're gonna love our show. And today we got a special guest. It's my good friend Jerry. So Jerry Durham is a physical therapist. He owned a bunch of clinics in San Francisco and exited like many years ago. Now he helps like healthcare practitioners with like front desk sales training and owners on how to increase the value of their business when they exit, right? So Jerry, nice to have you on the show. And I'm super curious, Jerry, do you remember when we first met?
Oh, sure I do. Even before you posted it. So I am going to tip off everybody and say, yes, Rick posted it. But of course I do, right? It was, at PPS. I wouldn't have guessed the year, but I could have told you Vegas, dude. Yep. Yes, when we were kind enough, us lofty Americans were kind enough to invite our upstairs neighbors to our private practice event in Vegas, dude.
But how do we actually meet? Was it?
Yeah, I don't know. It had to be Daryl, dude. Yeah, okay. It had to be Daryl.
Okay.
And don't ask me how I met Daryl because I can't tell you.
And I still remember we drank a lot that night. I still remember
moving through all that stuff, man, right? Meeting all those people because I knew you guys were there, what you guys were there to do. And, I go to those events to talk to as many people as possible. So it turned out awesome. I mean, we spent a boatload of time together. And by the way, because there was a lot of waking time, right? We didn't sleep a lot.
100%. Yeah. And then over the last couple of, since then, like we've been like hanging out, whether at PPS every single year, right? I think and last year as well. So
and you're speaking again this year, and so am I. Oh, Daryl speaking. You're speaking with Daryl.
No, Daryl speaking.
Sorry, Daryl speaking this year. Yeah, and I'll be at PPS.
And I'm curious, what topic are you speaking at PPS this year?
It's going to be the front desk, the value of the front desk, and back to what you said, and it fits the intro. How your front desk is a short-term cash builder and a long-term asset grower for your business, right? And the work you do at that front desk will benefit short-term and long-term for your business. So that's my topic at PPS this year.
Yeah, I think last year PPS had 1,400 people.
Dude, that was packed.
It was insane.
It was packed, and that was the most heavily attended PPS to date.
Okay, wow. That's pretty cool.
Austin's a good city. I'm looking forward to Austin.
Yeah. Cool. So Jerry, I'm interested. I'm curious with you right now. What are you paying most attention to right now, like in the economy or just with changes in the industry? Like there's just so much stuff going on, like there's inflation, there's declining reimbursements, there's like all the student loans of all the PTs coming out, there's wage pressures, now there's like another war, and then the fears of recession, the stock market going like roller coaster. Like what are you paying most attention to right now, right?
I think you covered, by the way, you literally nailed about every checkbox that anybody's going to bring up going on right now. And I'm dead serious, dude, because we've heard it all, right?
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's someone bringing up three of them or one of them, right? It's student loan debt. It's declining. I call it payment, by the way. We can call it declining reimbursement. It's declining payment. It's inflation, right? All these things. It's more expensive to do work. I'll tell you what I go back to, Rick. Yes, I'm hearing all of this, and I'll tell you where my focus is. And I'm really trying to recenter everybody is if you understand the basics of your business, marketing, sales, retention, referrals, then you can not only survive, but you can thrive through any time because people will pay for what they value. Now, we can get in the weeds on this, and I'm happy to, but people will pay for what they value. And in this economy, with all those things you're talking about, and people having to make more and more tighter, squeezing down, are you going to be an option that they say yes to? Or is it going to be, sorry, I don't have enough money, you're too expensive, I can't use you, right? How are you going to make sure people continue to prioritize their health and the services you offer them for their health? So if we have the business basics down, dude, marketing, sales, retention, referral, then we can do short-term. This is why I like my topic for PPS. We can make short-term decisions today to drive more revenue with an eye on the future and make sure we're building a stable asset for the future.
Yeah. But you know, like long term that makes sense, but short term with all these things going on, like you know, like most of the clinic owners I speak with in our community, you know, we got over 1,000 clinics in our community, like they're kind of suffocated with some of the decision making, right? Just because like, you know, things are getting more expensive, and you know, like, you know, the front desk wages and the labor shortage, like, you know, how can you even get them to do the job or get them to show up when there's all these things going on? And is that what you're seeing with like the kind of the people you're working with right now, Jerry?
Yes. And let me say this, and this is where I'm glad and happy with the work I was doing prior to all this, right? So the last 15 years and the work I did in my business that got me here is, right, I saw an opportunity within my own business to draw more value out of what we were already doing. So, right, we talk about, well, hiring people and I can't find team. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking about taking what you already have. So no new hires, no new services, no new products currently, right? And examining where is the leak out of my company. So I didn't say this earlier, but this is part of it. If I understand marketing, sales, and retention, and I understand my KPIs, and I understand the movement of a client, patient through my business, then I can find the money leaks. I was on a call. Let me give you an example. Literally on a call on Monday with a person with a freaking wonderful practice in Northeast USA, right? Serving a great purpose out of network. So a lot of out of network, some in network, a revenue per visit of $149, dude. Most people kill for this. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right? So check this out. But she called me, I need help. And I'm like, right? Seriously. I'm like, tell me, what do you need help with? I'm worried. I've got the opportunity to get a bigger space. I haven't maxed the current space out in, and I know I'm leaking money from the business, right? She's heard my stuff and she goes, I know I'm leaking money. So we did the work, dude. Now, mind you, this is currently in her business. No new work to be done. These are people that have, I always like to say, they raised their hands and said, I want to work with you, Rick. Right? That's how it starts.
What are the top 3 leaks? What were the top 3 leaks?
So number one is the first visit arrival is leak number 1, right? Okay. So, and mind you, right? So remember, I'm a for context, I'm a sales and retention guy, right? So I do look at their marketing and I look at the connectedness. Is the marketing drawing in the people that are going to get what they think they're going to get, right? I mean, just like anything else. So first visit arrival is leak number 1. Cancels is leak number 2. And leak number 3 is drop off. And so we found, we just ran her numbers. She is at her current arrival rate. She's leaking close to a month, dude, close to $12,000 a month out of her business. Now, I'm not saying, oh, we're going to get you to 100%, dude. I'm just saying, we're just going to close this gap 5-10%. And at her volume, at her revenue per visit, at her current capacity, she's leaking about $12,000 a month out of that business. That's insane. Yeah. Right. That's just the one. She doesn't have to hire. She doesn't have to hire anybody. She doesn't have to buy anything. Don't run out and buy equipment. She has to. I haven't thought of the appropriate word because I like the word optimize. People hate it these days, but she has to take what she already has in place and fricking make sure it's that's
optimized, man. You know, right?
And she needs to optimize. So as we look at inflation, as we look at rising costs, as we look at, oh my God, my team wants more. I'm like, well, yeah, your team wants more, but you're spitting cash out, right? You're spitting money out through your client's life cycle in your business. We can recoup some of this. You know what I love to do with this, Rick? So back to some of your student loan debt, everything. Once we recoup some of this money, right? Because the top, we're going to increase top line and bottom line with this because there's no added expense in here. So I say you're going to have more opportunities to create a bonus program. You're going to have more opportunities to give raises. You're going to have more opportunities to reinvest back into the business, right? Put a savings account, right? I make sure everybody's putting cash away. So those are the things, those are the conversations I'm having. And whether it's inflation, the economy, right? Oh my God, I'm scared about this, right? What are we headed towards another recession? I'm like, you got to make sure you know where your cash is first, man.
Yeah, 100%. And I see this a lot too, is that most people don't have the financial visibility to actually know where it's leaking. And the second thing
dude,
is that
100%.
I think as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, we're always trying to like search for the shiny object syndrome, whether it's like marketing or like this other thing. I learned from this, like I listened to this podcast or I listened to this like YouTube. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you're not focusing on just like the core basics of your business, you know, and our business,
dude.
Whether you own a physical therapy clinic or a chiropractic clinic or a massage clinic or a health clinic, it's a very simple business, you know.
It is, dude. It's a business. So that means there are business principles that need to be applied. And I'm finding, I never say, you know, I love to talk extremes, but let's go back to the middle. Most of my best clients, by the way, Rick, and I think you would say this too, most of my best clients, when we go through, right, the first thing I do with my clients is we go through a current state evaluation. I look at, show me your marketing. Okay. How are these people moving in, right? How are they coming into your universe? Okay. And then how are they connecting with your sales team? Okay. And then how are they moving to this? As we look at this, I'm like, you're 75% of the way there. We're just, you know, I tell people all the time, we are not going to.
Clinics don't have a sales team. What are you talking about?
Well, that too,
like,
dude.
Who's on a sales team at a clinic, Jerry? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, this is the number. Every time I do a talk, whether it's like 300 or 500 people, I get people to raise their hand. How many people have a sales team? No one puts their hands up.
Yeah, dude. And
then the second question I ask is like, how many people have a front desk who answers the phone? And everyone puts their hand up.
Yeah, dude. Yep. So, I mean, that's the work to be done. But here, let me just give some credit. People are like 75% of the way there. I swear to God, all the time. You know, the really off the rails stuff, I'm like, wow. Yeah. But most of the people I talk to, I'm like, man, you're, you know, if we checked off 1 through 10, you're only missing like, you know, 3, 7, and 8. So I'm like, we can make this work. Now, mind you, you and I both know they're all missing the sales portion of it, dude. So I'm like, we got a big hole here to plug upstream, right? Because you're losing. Again, I say, hi, my name's Jerry. I want to do business with you. Click, right? I'm like, how many potential customers can you hang up on, right?
Yeah. But how can you actually do this, right? When there's like this massive like labor shortage going on, and the front desk don't get paid very well. So like the quality of your applicants or the people that you have at your clinic, you know, like aren't really incentivized or motivated to do, you know, because it's just tough, right? You know?
Yeah.
Jared, and once again, when I think about like salespeople in other organizations, I think about salespeople like in my business, or I think about salespeople like in other entrepreneurs' business. Salespeople get paid more than the CEO, right? Or
correct.
The salespeople get paid a lot, whereas like the salespeople at a physical therapy clinic or a massage clinic or a chiropractic clinic, they get paid like minimum wage and maybe a couple dollars more.
When I first started doing this work, my number one goal is to create the first $100,000 front desk person. And you and I both know that would be the person doing the sales portion of that. When I started doing this 6, 7, 8 years ago, I said, I want to create $100,000 front desk person because they're driving so much value, so much business into the business, and everybody understands that. So 2 things, Rick, you know, part of it is they're hired into the wrong role. So people, dude, you know, so you ask everybody, who's your sales team? Who's your front desk team? And then who would pay their front desk less if they could? Everybody keep their hand up. So they don't understand the roles, the sales role of the front desk, the customer service role of the front desk, the admin and back office role of the front desk. So they're hiring people, right? They bunch them all up, they throw them into the bowl, they stir it up and go do all these tasks. And we know freaking sales is in there. And I'm like, you just bundled everybody together and said, grow the business. I'm like, and you don't realize you said that, but this is where the growth's coming from right here. How many leads do you have this month, right? Yeah. You know, how many people,
how many follow-ups did you, how many closes did you have? What was your conversion rate, you know,
exactly.
Right? And then all the other like metrics that it shows. So what do you like? This is kind of like the chicken and the egg, you know, you're calling them a sales team, but you're not paying them as a sales team. In essence, you've attracted like whether it's a medical office assistant or like a minimum wage, like, you know, front desk, you know, that get paid a couple bucks more, you know, and you expect them to do like all these things plus close and do all this stuff like
that. There you go. That's the thing. I always make them show me all the tasks. Oh, they got to do all this. And I went, oh, here's answer phone calls buried in the middle. I'm like, what's most important? You know, I'm looking, I'm like, what's most important on this list? And they're like, all of it. And I'm like, no, you know, yeah, you're right. They pile it on there. And so again,
Jeremy, let me ask you a practical thing. Like, I just want to cut to it, right? So
yeah,
if the clinic can afford the dollars, right? You know, let's just say their finances like aren't great, you know, the owner's not making a lot of money, right? Like you have like, let's just say, like, what do you do in this scenario? Like, how can you pay your front desk more to do these, like, call it like sales activities, right?
I'm going to go back. So we got two options here. So this is good because I get on a call. I'll get on a call with someone. Rick Lau's on the phone, right? And I say, tell me why you reached out to me. I said, you know, I usually say, hey, I checked out your website. I see roughly through your website what you're doing, what kind of business, the size of your team. You tell me why you contacted me. Oh, I need help with the front desk. I need more people arriving, whatever. By the end of that call, basically, Rick, I've brought you one of two directions. Either I've got you to take the next step and talk about the money leaks in your business. So step one is I'm going to find the leaks in the business to finance you, Rick, improving your business at the front end, right? Does that make sense to you? So I'm going to find the money leak, or here's the second one, is I'm going to turn you on to my outsourced virtual front desk company where I do all the hiring, I do all the sales training, and I set them and drop them into your office to do that role in your company at a cost that is less than what you're currently paying. So, I mean, there are two options really, right? You know this. I mean, they're all over my IG feed, dude. There's all kinds of groups out there saying, hey, we can book you the virtual sales people, right? Well, I created a virtual sales front desk sales company for healthcare offices because I got tired of people going, I have this person, train them. And I'm like, you didn't hire the right person. We can't train them in sales. They're not salespeople. So I went and I created a sales team that I now outsource to offices. Yet, I'll tell you what, unless someone calls and says, I want to talk about your virtual company, I don't bring that up, dude. I don't. We talk about.
But what's another option outside of paying you, Jerry? Like what can
someone do? I would say, Rick, you and I both know the bare minimum, and nobody does this. Two things, Rick. You need to start tracking the lead. You need to understand how many people are contacting you to do business.
Yeah.
And the second thing you got to do, and I ain't saying this because I'm on the call with you, dude. I posted this last week. You must record your incoming calls. So if nothing else, Rick, if you said, I can't afford anything you just gave me, what can I start doing, Jerry? I'd say start tracking every single lead into the business and find out what happened to them. They scheduled or they didn't, and then they arrived or they didn't. And I make them fill out like 4 things on each lead. That's it. Second, we have to have recorded calls. You will never improve it if you do not record the conversations.
Yeah. And so would it make sense to put them on some type of like compensation structure?
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
Where so that you can pay them more, right?
Yeah. So once you start tracking the leads and once we have the feedback loop, the call recording, then I would say, right, here's what I do, Rick, to answer your question. I go back and go, okay, How many new patients a month to pay your bills? Boom. We look at that and I go, cool. So at what level are you willing to start paying commissions out? Right. Yeah, dude. And I did this literally one of my clients yesterday, dude. We busted out
how many owners how many clinics you think in the profession actually creates a bonus structure for their
front
front
desk?
Yeah. You think it's like,
I'm going to give you a percentage. You give me a number and I'll tell you if it's higher or lower.
You think it's more than 10%?
No, it's less than 5%, dude.
Good.
It's less than 5%.
Interesting.
Yeah. People do not understand the leverage and the ROI of their front desk currently.
I agree,
because they do not view it as a revenue generator. It's a cost center. And I'm like, you are not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to tell me that your front desk is not a revenue generator.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Which leads to my next question I want to ask you is that, like, last year I went to PPS. I saw like the rise of all these like kiosks, it's kind of like going to McDonald's. It was like one of the byproducts of McDonald's, of COVID, right? We start using more QR codes, we start using seeing more kiosks or touch screens and like, what are your thoughts on like having these kiosks where you talk to a screen, and there's all these companies, I'm not going to mention it, but but what is your thoughts about this, within the profession, within the industry, right? And I think the value prop that I hear a lot of these companies talk about is like, oh, it's going to actually is designed where like it's going to cut like your front desk costs down, right? So you're already paying them like crap. Dude, so we're saying like you're going to actually pay them even less now.
Yeah. Well, I think, by the way, everybody, if you're watching and listening to this, we have not discussed this. And I guarantee you, just by how Rick's presenting this, we align on this. Yeah. You're taking the lowest paid, by the way, the least amount of ROI, right? It's your lowest paid employee already. And you're going to take what, another $1 or $2 off? I mean, my God, if you're making business decisions like that, then please call me. I am a revenue first person. More revenue solves all business problems. That's my mantra.
So the kiosk, what is the future of the kiosk?
Well, no. I'm going back to this. So revenue solves all problems. So if you come to me and say, I got to cut the cost of my front desk, I'm going to go, how much are they generating you? How much is each of those people? Because I'm going to look at the ROI, right? Yeah. And I'm probably going to cut, by the way, I'm going to say this out loud. I'm probably going to cut a provider before I cut a good front desk person.
Really?
Right now. Dude, it's math. If I have a $20 an hour employee,
man. That's a tough one. I think I would cut a front desk before.
Well, that's good. You asked me before, is anything taboo? And I said no. So here we go, dude. I would possibly, but I'm going to run the numbers, Rick, right? We're going to look at everything. And so
I would cut a really bad provider, right?
I would not make a knee-jerk
amazing front desk, right?
Now let's go back to your question. I would not show up at a conference, see a computer screen and go, shit, I got to get rid of my front desk without running the numbers, right?
Yeah.
So what do I
think the numbers make sense? And by the way,
correct.
Correct. I just want to show them the model that I see that is attractive is for the multi-locations where you got 3 to 5 locations. So instead of and let's just say each clinic has 3, full-time equivalents running the thing. Sure. Maybe you need like 1.5, maybe you need like 1, and then they share the offices, or you have like a central one that manages. Like you got it, dude.
And by the way, there is value in this. So my gut is people are choosing it for the wrong reason. You just started describing examples and we'd sit down and look at this and run the numbers. But you know what? There's going to be someone at the next level up that is a highly trained highly trained person in their role. So here's the thing with the kiosks. If Rick calls me and I schedule Rick Lau for 10 o'clock for PT on Thursday, and I run him through the same bullshit. Remember, I do secret callers all the time. And I hang up the phone and I don't tell Rick what's going to happen next. And he shows up at the office with a blank screen. It's not going to be the right experience. So there is a system and processes in place for man. So people say, well, what am I going to do with this? And I'm like, just tell the fucking people when they show up, there'll be a screen. And when they walk in, there'll be a live person on there and what they have to do next. That solves 51% of the problems. So again, your original question was, as a knee-jerk reaction to cutting costs, it is a horrible idea. Taking people out of your business as a knee-jerk reaction and replacing them with a screen will not solve your problem. If you go back to Rick's example,
cut 3-4%, you know,
I have three offices. I've got a main, right? All my phones are manned. They get a live person when they call. We've set up the systems to make sure they understand what's going to happen when they arrive. The providers know. You will be very successful in this model.
Okay.
So
interesting. You know,
again, I have a problem with the knee jerk. We're going to cut our costs, go buy 5 of these. And just
well, here's the thing is that, like, you know, when I think about the front desk, when I think about like the community I work with, you know, the front desk is such a pivotal role, you know, outside of like them converting, like, you know, like doing the sales aspect of like converting that like lead into an appointment. They're also booking the entire plan of care. You know, they also are like selling the product. They're also, you know, like having the, call it the patient experience conversations to like, you know, like reassure them, to answer any questions, but also to be able to like get that Google review if they have a really good experience.
I agree, dude.
You know?
Yeah, so I agree.
And can that be replaced by like a screen? You
know, no, I'll tell you no, because I've talked to the people and they're not training those people to do that. So part of my thing here, I'm going to say this. I've talked with some people who want to get the screen. I said, why don't you get the screen and I'll train the person behind it. Right. I'll train the person who understands that when Rick Lau walks in, hi, Rick, my name's Jerry. I know you're here to get back to the gym pain free and get out of that morning pain. Right. As mentioned, right. I appreciate you feeling, you know, I'm going to train them in a manner that you're like, wow, this was awesome. That's all I want, dude. So again, it's not about the hardware. It's not about the software. It's about it's about integrating the people and the systems with it. Dude, you and I bring this up like once a month. I remember when texting first came out and made available. Every PT clinic in the world bought texting capacity, right? Tools. And I kept going, I'm like, what are you guys doing with this? Oh, we text everybody. I'm like, did you ask them if they want to text? Oh, no, we just text everybody, right? I'm like, I wouldn't buy a tool if my clientele, if my customers weren't telling me they wanted to. And everybody wants text. I'm like, well, yeah, the ones who tell you they want it, that's who gets the text, right? We have such a knee-jerk reaction, dude, to all this stuff. I'm going to buy the infrared machine. I'm like, you don't even know what the fuck's going on with your other plans of care right now, dude.
Yeah. You know, interesting.
Again, there's value in all this. Is there value in a red wave laser? Yes. Is there value in a front desk screen? Yes. In the example you said, yet the problem is people don't understand. You said it, the financial transparency. Do they know what numbers and metrics to look at?
Yeah.
This is back to the business basics, dude.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, Jerry, so what do you do? I'm going to go back to reimbursements, right? You know, what do you do if you live in a state? You know, I'm just going to say New Jersey, because I met this owner and he was like on his rates was like $36.
Yeah, dude.
Per visit. Like, what do you do if you own a clinic? And I'm not going that extreme, because I think, you know, like, you know, but there's some states that are like, maybe it's not 36, but maybe it's like 50, maybe it's 80, and every single year's going around low. Like, what do you do? And then on top of that, you got inflation. Like, you know, like, what do you do with a practice like that? $36 from Medicaid or Medicare.
So
and that's 80% of your business.
I've had a good run with a client over the last year. They signed me up originally to help out with the front end. They were all in network.
Yeah.
About 3-4 months in, they said, we've run some numbers and we really have to go out of network with this one with this one provider, insurance. Sorry.
Yes, insurance. Yeah.
Right. And I said, great, I can help you guys with that. And the going, because they started to run the numbers. And, you know, I did this, and I'm going to pat myself on the back. I did this over 15 years ago, right? I made a business decision because payment got too low. And we went out in network, and that's how my journey started. And what I found was nothing. People, again, they start to get, right. It's just like the screen for the for the waiting area. I mean, they just started making, you know, we're going to have to change this. We're going to have to change that. I'm like, all you got to change is the sales process, dude.
What was the difference in the rates?
Oh, almost double, dude.
Okay. So
Yeah.
from 36 to 72, right?
No, it went from like 70 to 140, dude.
Okay. But then you just get less leads. So you got to spend more time with the sales.
Well, no.
process.
They don't get less leads. This is the deal, dude, because you don't know. See, this could be a whole nother show. And this goes back. My world, everything I do, dude, is about managing and setting expectations and building trust. So I'm not going to put, I'm an in-network clinic, I'm an out-in-network clinic on my website. I'm going to put why you should choose me on my website. Yeah. Right.
You're going to run good marketing. So you're going to get the leads anyway.
Right. And so I'm going to train my sales team, your sales team. And this is what I do with the group on how to have a conversation with Rick when he calls in about his low back pain, to turn this into a conversation about Rick and his low back pain, not the insurance. Yeah. And when we do this, so by the way, the clinic I'm working with, they went out of network, right? We've been training the front desk. We've been going through the process. By the way, we included a step. Most American clinics will say, we'll give you your benefits when you arrive. We included a step where we say, we can check your cost. So if you have your insurance information, we'll get your cost, we'll get your benefits, and we'll get you the cost to do physical therapy here. And so we'll get you on the schedule, but I'm going to call you 2 days before your visit with your cost. Would you like your cost? You got to realize, Rick, you're being promised something that happens less than 1% in all of healthcare in America. So remember, this is preceded by a value conversation where Rick hears that the expert here, Dr. Jane Doe, works with people with shoulder pain who want to get back to CrossFit. Rick heard that Dr. Jane Doe is currently treating people who have shoulder pain who want it. So then I promise you your costs, and you go, yeah, on the cost call back, I tell you we're out of network, but I have all your benefits. This will be your cost. And I'm going to tell you right now, dude, the conversion rate is far greater than you think it is. The conversion rate at the one clinic I'm working with is up over 80% after they went out of network. Of course, they thought they were going to have to shut down. Nobody.
But did they get the same amount of phone calls, Jerry?
Yeah, dude. Yes, same leads, because they're not marketing that they're out of network.
Yeah. Okay.
So
as long as you are still strong with like marketing, whether online or offline.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Right? The marketing again.
But let's be honest, like that needs to be a criteria, right?
100%. Marketing and sales have to be. We're back to the business principles, dude. If you're not doing good marketing, if you don't have a sales team and you're currently getting $36 and you want to go out of network, you will fail. You'll close down and you'll blame the system. And I'll go,
yes. And that's what most people are doing.
Marketing
and
sales.
And this is what most people are doing. Right.
And I'm telling you right here, but here's something cool you said. So think about this. And I get these owners to just put this in your head. If we double your price, then you could see half the patients to achieve the same exact revenue goals. And everybody just freezes. And I'm like, you realize that? I said, we're not going to lose half of the load. I said, I'll guarantee you we won't lose because of the training, dude. I'm like, we're not going to lose half of the patients. And even the lower ones, maybe lose 30%.
It's just a conversion rate,
Dude, like right. And they're still running, their revenue's running higher with less volume. I'm like,
but here's the thing, Jerry, if you're saying you could if you could go from 70 to like 140, why could you not find a compensation structure to bonus out your front desk so they get paid?
Well, this is what I'm trying to get them to do next, dude. Because by the way, one of these people that I trained up, or that they had, that we've trained up. I say I because I came in to help, but it was we. Dude, they better start bonusing her. Yeah. Because if she goes somewhere else, they're going to.
What is the most highest paid front desk you've worked with so far, or you've seen? The highest paid.
I don't know, dude. You're going to make me, whatever I say next. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Like $25 an hour, $30 an hour.
Yeah, probably. 40. But with comp, you mean with like a bonus structure, or just
full comp? Yeah,
like, everything. It's got to be
variable.
You know, it's funny. You say this number, and most people listening to this call are going to freak out. But I'm going to but it's tied back to their production. Their right.
So what's the number? 20.
One of the most frequently asked questions I get is, how can you help me grow my clinic? So every year we put together an annual event called the Clinic Boss Summit. It's basically the Woodstock for everyone interested in growing or selling your multi-million-dollar practice. You're going to meet over 300 of the world's top clinic owners. The network is going to be insane. It's 3 days. You're going to learn everything from marketing, finance, HR, recruitment, and sell your clinic. And the best part, it's going to be Orlando, Florida on January the 26th. It's one of my favorite cities to hang out in January because you get the sunshine, palm trees, and best theme parks. We usually sell every year within the first couple of months, so grab your tickets now. Go to clinicaccelerator.com to grab more details.
25, 30, that's
30, 25, 30 probably, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just say 30. I was going to say maybe.
What's 30?
Higher,
30, 70K. Is that 70K a year?
I do not know, dude.
60, that's 60,000, 62. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like the price as a new grad physical therapist coming out.
Yeah. And again, when it's tied to, right. And again, I want everybody to realize they're getting that because we can track leads to arrive to actual revenue to less cancels.
It has to be tied back
no-shows.
to like getting paid more, right? So
you are correct. Yeah. Well, here. It's got to tie back to a better downstream impact, whether it's less cancels, less no-shows, less drop-offs is more revenue, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Hey,
by the way, the biggest lie in America, dude, you didn't ask. The biggest lie in America, the worst question you could ask any physio business owner in America, because they will make it up and they will justify anything, is ask them their cancel rate, dude. They've all redefined it. And so slots, empty slots, wait lists, right? So that's why I work on like lead, arrived, right? Drop off.
Yeah.
I don't bonus reschedules, dude, because I don't know.
Yeah. So let's just say, like, if your best salesperson is being $30 an hour, like, what do you think what would their base paid be?
Well, that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. You and I both know
you got to post base with a 10 bonus.
You got to so, I talked to someone recently and I said, we were talking about this because they want to hire someone. I said, what are they going to be comfortable with? Well, they really want 20. And I said, well, no salesperson is going to come in and be comfortable with their salary because they want to drive commission. Right. So I said, in order to find the right person, you're going to drop that down like $3-4, right? At least 17, $16 an hour with an upside of, right. They asked for 20. I'd show them on paper that their upside could be $25-30, dude. Yeah.
So sell the OTE, your total comp, right? With a base of this, like say it's 17, but hey, if you hit this type of stuff, it would be like 20 or 25 or 30 or whatever it is.
And by the way, I'm going to show them because I want you and I both know. I want them looking at the lead log. I want them looking at what the date is. I want them looking at their deliverable and going, I got to chase down. If I chase down 3 more, it's worth, right? It's worth big money to me. It's worth big money to the business.
And then in an ideal world, is that bonused out? Like, is that measured quarterly or is that measured weekly or like?
That's good.
Is it paid out weekly, monthly, quarterly?
Yeah, paid out, right? Paid out. It's measured, dude. I sleep with those numbers.
Is it paid out daily?
No, yeah, dude, right? No, I think with the volume and to make sure everything, we're all on the up and above board. I think it needs to be paid. My personal opinion, tracked daily and weekly and monthly, paid out quarterly.
Because here's the thing, I've always struggled with this, is that like if you pay out quarterly, like you're not like, it's not cash in hand, like
I hear you, dude.
Like
I know
monthly allows them to be like you'll be able to see that behavior change more quickly, right?
I don't disagree.
However, you can't balance your books quick enough. You can't
and that's a problem, right? So you got to build in. So I say, even if you, and I know this is what you're thinking, but I want people to hear this. If you're going to bonus monthly, it's got to be paid out on like the 7th or, so you have time, you got a little time to make sure everything's balanced and get it to where it is.
Yeah. All right.
So I like that idea, dude. I like it. And this is what I'm trying to move everybody towards, dude. Everybody. And again, it goes back to, right, in this economy, people are looking for a bigger upside and they're asking for that huge upside. And I'm like, how about I deliver you a bigger upside, but you got to start, right? You got to prove to me you can do it.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I'll be
you and I
honest,
both
like,
know
I'm a
any
big proponent of
salesperson
paying
will buy
people
that.
more, but I also expect more, right?
You are
And
correct.
if they don't deliver, then I'll know within a month or two, right? I'll know within 30 days, to be honest, right? That
Yeah,
if they can't
you
like,
learn really
add value
quickly.
within 30, then like I want them out anyways, right? You know, to be honest, right? Why do I want a B player and just pay them mediocre? I'd rather pay I'd rather have someone an A player, pay them well, because by the time you train and mentor someone, like, you know, you don't really get the value of them until like 6 or 1 year, you know?
This is you know, this is what's kind of cool creating, and I'm speaking about this from a business perspective. I'm not pitching this to anybody. Yeah, I'm bringing it up, but this is what I enjoy about the company I created, this front desk sales solutions company, dude, is I get to set up. So we actually, here's something else is interesting. If you came to me and said, Jerry, I want your front desk person and I want them to start as soon as they can, it'd be 30 days because I'm going to train them. They come from a sales background. So I'm going to train them in my sales process, and then we're going to onboard them to your clinic. So it's going to be, I say, everybody, right? We're going to set a start date of 30 days out. I said, we won't start later than that. We may start a little earlier, but I really pride myself and my partner on the front end process we've set up for just this, so that we're spending that time to make sure, right? That what
do you
just
look on
said,
the resume? What do you look on the resume? Like what
I'm
type
just
of
looking
like,
for, I'm looking for sales experience, dude. That's it. I don't care what they
sales
sold.
experience? Like selling clothes at a
No, I don't
H&M?
care, dude.
Like, what do you mean by sales experience?
I don't want speed dial, dude. And we started with speed dial and that didn't pan out. So I want people having conversations with people, right? Commissions, things like that.
Like
Not
what?
all of them were commissioned.
Like headhunting jobs, or like what types of industries are you
Dude,
finding
you name
that
it, find it, everything. And God, dude, I always laugh when I talk to some people because I'm like, we've probably talked before, right? They've worked for Citibank and they probably have been some of the other people have talked to. They've worked for Wells Fargo, right? All of it, dude. Yeah, they come from all the.
What about personal trainers? What's your thoughts about personal trainers?
Well, my thing is see, well, that's a good question, but you and I both know it's like saying I want a good salesperson and personal trainer. I'm like, but they're not all great salespeople, right? They're good personal trainers. So I want people been getting paid, making their living on the phone, dude.
Okay. So they have experience with like actually like closing, you know, and KPIs, right?
Correct. Yeah. Accountabilities, dude.
Yeah.
And
actually, you know what? Like personal trainers, if you go to personal trainers, a lot of like these like big fitness centers, like they are salespeople.
Yeah, they are, dude. And
like,
I hear you, and I know why you brought that up. I'm meaning, I agree with you because they got all of them. Nobody's guaranteed anything in that world, dude.
No, it's like they get minimum wage or they get a cut of commission. Like they are selling memberships like crazy, right? You know, so.
And it's funny because at my gym, they're everywhere and I can tell, right? And I always like to see, dude, because I'll show up, see the same personal trainers. I always like to see who they've figured out is their target client. And the smart ones aren't working out with a bunch of different people, right? Meaning they find the people that they connect with, that they can get. And by the way, when I say results, I'm using a broad term here, but the results they can get, and they make sure and tag their ideal client. And those are the people they look for. And we could go back to the physio world, dude. They're not taking anybody who walks in the door. They know who they can be successful with.
All right. Cool.
So my take home, real quick. My take home is back to that first question. Understanding the marketing, sales, and retention of your business is the best defense you can set up in 2023.
Yeah. And 2024.
Yeah. And
2020 and 2000. It's the basic principles of running a business, you know, right? It is marketing, sales, and reducing churn.
You got it, dude.
And churn.
You got it.
So Jerry, last question. If let's just go back to that scenario, you own a clinic in Jersey, you know, like declining reimbursements, you know, you're in network, right? You know, and if you only have $1,000 to spend, okay, how would you spend it? How would you spend it to grow your sales for next month? You know, what would you do if you had $1,000 to actually get an ROI next month for your clinic in Jersey?
You know what? I'd reinvest it. I'd reinvest it into a reactivation campaign, dude. I'd go after I'd go after my current and past clients.
Okay. And then what would you say when you call them?
I would hope I'd already have a program in place, my man. So let's say we already have a program in place, and right, they've had some drip emails and maybe some calls from the providers.
So you get the providers to do it, or you get the front desk to do it?
Both.
Okay. And
Because
then
I'd let them work together, dude. I'd want them working together, right? Because
so
some
is
of them,
$1,000 paid out to them for the conversion? Is that how would you use it? Like, what do you mean by
well,
how,
yeah, we could do that because, right. So we could say theoretically it's time they're already paid for. So yeah. So instead of taking that thanks for asking that. Instead of taking that 1,000 and going, let's get $1,000 worth of Facebook ads or something, I would say, okay, team, I'd get the team together.
Yes.
I've got $1,000 to pay out, and here's how we're going to structure it, right? And it'll be a recapture or a reactivation campaign. And so I would set up a program. I love this. You can't go to this well too often though. So I like this because you can use it maybe one at max twice a year, max, but I think even twice. But I love a campaign.
How far back would you go? How far back would you go?
I'd probably go back 12 months at least.
12 months? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what I would also do is I'd probably see here's where I'd split it up. I'd get the PTs to call like people they discharged 2-3 months ago. I'd get the front desk to call the more the farther out people. And the reactivation would be
self-discharge, you mean?
No. Discharged.
Yeah.
I probably front desk would be doing probably self-discharge and some discharge because, by the way, some of the, depending on the setup of the clinic, dude, if it was all one-on-one and everybody had a relationship, the providers would do all the old ones and I'd get the front desk to call the self-discharges, right?
Okay.
Here's the campaign I like. And it was an email we used to send out. We always had good success. We filled all the slots, and it went out something like this. And I'm going to screw it up, but it was something like this, dude, where, hey, we appreciate your past business. We appreciate the fact you chose us. We appreciate that you invested your time, money, and energy, and we want to give you something back. And this is what we're going to give you. And there were slots, a recheck, a free recheck, like a 30-minute recheck with your old PT, right? So it's going to be with the same person to either check why you were here before. And again, I'm not saying it perfectly, or for a new problem. Here was the kicker. And this was one of the best add-ons, dude. Here's the kicker, and here's the value. At the bottom, it said this offer is only for you and can be used only for you, by you, ... Unless you're unavailable, unless you know a friend or family member who can benefit from this more than you, and they have to use your name when they use it. We had just as many of those referrals as we did old people coming in. That bottom part, dude, was
I actually like that one. It's kind of the PS, right?
Yeah,
the
dude,
PS at the
that bottom was the gold mine. I got to tell you, because it was probably half the business.
What do you think the conversion rate was? So it was half and half?
Oh, sorry. No, of the conversion, I'm going to say it converted 50%, dude.
Okay. Wow.
50%.
But that's through email and calls. Like, did you have a sales cadence of how many calls, how many emails, or just like calls?
No, I think we sent out at the time it was emails, dude. And at the time, but I would do calls now.
Was it an individual email, or was it like this e-blast?
No, dude, it was individualized. Yeah, it was individualized to you.
Okay.
We probably had a cadence of 3.
Okay.
Because we timed it with the season too, and an expiration date, right? We put in an expiration date. We told you there were only so many slots, and we literally blocked the slots off, dude.
Yeah.
And we followed up with people.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this. Well, I guess I just don't understand why people just don't do it based on a rolling 12 and just make it part of the monthly process.
I agree. That should be done. That should be part of a regular program. So you asked me what I do, right? And that,
yes, you're right. I said, we're talking about Jersey, $35,
right?
Blah, blah, blah.
And by the way, I better have been dripping stuff out to people anyway, right? In the meantime, blah, blah, blah. But let's say you just walked in and you said here, but you have to use it within 30 days. I'd be boom. This is what we're doing. We're doing it.
I actually love that. I love the PS at the very bottom. I was like, hey,
dude, that was the gold mine. That was the gold.
That was gold.
That was not, I get no credit for that. Someone else told
I'm going to give you the credit. Everyone's giving you the credit. All 23,000 people who listen to this are going to give you the credit.
Dude,
all right,
that
Jerry,
was gold.
Jerry, how do people find out more about you, and what you do?
I think my favorite place for people to go. So if you type in Jerry, Jerry, Durhampt, that is my Instagram handle. That's my Twitter handle. I have a business Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, and my YouTube. And my YouTube has over 155 videos now. And if you want to learn or hear more of this stuff, right? Like this discussions around how to turn your front desk into a sales back expert, how to define the 3 roles of your front desk. I don't think I talked much about how to set up bonus programs, but all that other stuff, the work to be done, it's all there for free. I ain't going to ask you for an email. I'm not going to ask you for anything. And boy, if you want to bury your head in that, and I get emails from people, I'm having my front desk watch this for training. That's the best place to go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome, Jerry. It was awesome having you on the show. And just to remind everyone, Jerry's actually going to be at the Clinic Boss Summit in Florida. It's going to be January the 26th, right, Jerry? Like it's going to be
I'm excited, dude. You put together a great group of people. I love the fact we talked about this offline. I'm going to bring this up. I love the fact that you're bringing in all kinds of people to speak, dude. To me, that's a huge value to those people who show up. It's not the Rick Lau show. It ain't going to be Rick Lau. God bless you, Rick, but it ain't going to be the Rick Lau show for 2 days straight, right? I've seen the agenda. I've seen the talk. I'm like, dude, how did you get all these people? How did you find the time for all these people to speak? And so there's going to be value from so many different directions, from so many different people. And I love the way you put that together. I'm serious, man.
Yeah. It's going to be
even if I wasn't on it, I'd still love the way you put it together.
You're going to learn from the top clinic owners in the world, on
I love it, dude. And that's what
recruitment,
else? We got people from all over,
marketing and sales. Those are the kind of the 4 big themes that we're talking about. And so everyone, thanks for coming on the show. And we're going to see everyone like next week, everybody. And so we got a juicy speaker coming up. But yeah, Jerry, amazing, nice chatting with you. And I'm going to see you. I'm not going to see you in Texas. I'm still in Italy, but I'm going to definitely see you in Florida. Right?
Yeah, definitely see you in Florida. And I thank you. And I love it because no matter what the title is, dude, we're always going to digress to the front end sales team. So that's fun.
Sounds good. I'm the marketing guy. You're the sales guy. And
right. We're going to talk about step 1 and step 2. Everybody's so worried, right? Everybody's worried about, I got to train up my provider. I'm like, you're so far downstream, man. You've already lost all the money. So much stuff is leaked out. I'm like, you got to get back up front, right?
This is all about marketing attracting
conversions. Yeah. Right. 100%. Who's your marketing attracting? And are they having the right sales conversation with them?
Yeah.
And by the way, your providers will get better results if you do that. There's a big takeaway, dude.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Take care, bud.